What's going on, everyone? So we're going to talk about two things today. We're going to talk about the checks that will be going out tomorrow, and we're also going to talk about the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill. And a couple of months ago, I mentioned that the whole doing the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill at the same time, that is okay. But if you wait too long, it's going to be really bad. And I think we're at that stage right now where they've waited too long on the first infrastructure bill. So now they need to move on that first infrastructure bill. You can't hold that bill off too long. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to take a look at a clip of Terry McAuliffe. He is running for governor of Virginia. Now, you're running for governor. Of course, you're going to say anything. That's kind of the way things go when you're running for any type of office. You're going to say a lot of things, but I think he's right on point when it comes to what he's talking about when it comes to the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill. So that's what we're going to focus on today. But first off, on this channel, we talk about news that matters. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the checks that will be going out tomorrow. So I know these are not the checks that everyone is waiting for. It's not the stimulus checks. We're talking about the child tax credit. So on the 15th of every month, that child tax credit will be going out electronically, as well as they'll be mailing out checks to people, and they will also be mailing out debit cards. So I just wanted to remind you guys that's going out. There are a lot of people that watch my channel that are interested in that child tax credit and are receiving the child tax credit now. Now, the second infrastructure bill, they're talking about extending that. They're talking about extending it until 2025. So it's something that you really want to focus on when it comes to the second infrastructure bill. Right now, the second infrastructure bill, we know it was said to be at $3.5 trillion. It looks like President Biden wants to lower that down to closer to $2 trillion. So we're going to have to see how that plays out in the next we'll say next couple of weeks, but we're not sure even if they're going to have something done by the end of October. But the child tax credit, make sure you guys are looking out for that. It will be coming out tomorrow. Okay, so let me show you this little clip, and then I'm going to talk about it on the other end, because I think this is very important for us to focus on when it comes to these infrastructure bills.
McAuliffe, who, of course, was a national political figure before he became the governor, recently weighed in on my colleague Andrea Mitchell's show about the infrastructure bill stuff that you guys are negotiating. There is, of course, the bipartisan bill that was negotiated and passed by the Senate. It's currently being held in the House as they try to work out the full deal. McAuliffe is calling for that to be passed. Here's what he said to say.
Let's get everybody in a room, lock the door. What do you need? What do you need? And let's get this thing done. I'll tell you why. $7 billion for roads in Virginia in the infrastructure bill. You know, all these folks up here, they love to go out and do their press conferences. Do your job. Vote.
Now, he's saying do your job. Now, like I said, Terry McAuliffe, he's running for governor of Virginia, so he's going to be really trying to get out there and say, yes, we need to fight for the American people. But he's not wrong here. He's actually right. They need to sit in a room and hash this out. And we're talking about the second infrastructure bill. You have Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema, who I think Senator Sinema's not even in the country right now. So it's one of these situations where they need to get them in the room. What do you guys need? What do you guys want in this second infrastructure bill? What is your top line number? They need to pin them down and figure out exactly how to move forward with the second infrastructure bill. That way they can get that first infrastructure bill going, because that's the big problem right now. They're holding that first infrastructure bill, which was passed by the Senate, a month and a half ago. So they need to move forward.
And your fellow senator from Virginia, Mark Warner, made a bit of news today saying we should vote on that independent of the negotiations on Build Back Better. Of course, progressives say if you do that, the rest of the agenda is never going to get passed. What do you think?
And just before he even answers this, just think of there's no trust. There's no trust amongst politicians, even in the same party, where they can say, you know what, if you guys get this done, take my word for it, we're going to move with that second infrastructure bill. So they can't even trust each other when it comes to that. And we're talking about the same party here, which is really not a good sign when you have one party and you have two sides, the progressives and the moderates, and they're not even on the same page when it comes to just trust, because some of them are on the same page when it comes to the substance of the second infrastructure bill, but they just can't trust that it will get done if they pass a first infrastructure bill and don't do anything with the second infrastructure bill right away.
Well, Chris, look, I think the infrastructure bill needs to get Joe Biden's desk very quickly. It's going to do great, not just for Virginia, but it's going to do good for every zip code in this country. I understand members of the House want some assurances that the Senate will pass a reconciliation bill at a reasonable level. We ought to be able to give them that assurance ASAP. There's no reason for Dems to be coy right now. My belief is this: if the Senate Democrats say to the House, we will do a reconciliation bill at this general level with these general programs, the House will say, great, you can work out the I dotting and T crossing. We'll send this bill to the president's desk. And so we do need to get it to his desk ASAP. And I asked my Senate Democrats, let's do what Terry McAuliffe said, and let's make plain to the House, here's what we want to do in the reconciliation bill to help American families, and we can get both of them done. We will get both of them done. I'm confident of that, but I agree with Terry that time is of the essence. Let's do it quicker to help more people.
Okay, and that was Senator Kaine. I didn't mention that. I was talking about Terry McAuliffe running for governor, but that was Senator Kaine. So he is playing a role when it comes to this. He's a Democrat. And you hear him talk about, look, we need to move forward with that first infrastructure bill. And I think that was the huge misstep when it comes to Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer. When it comes to this first infrastructure bill, it's been passed. So they need to move forward. They can't wait too long, because then it just looks like, you know what, you're not even acting on something that's already been passed through the Senate, which is the hurdle. The hurdle was the Senate. They passed this bipartisan bill. It needs to be addressed, and they're going to have to address it sooner than later. Now, I know Speaker Pelosi is in a bad situation where she has progressives in her party that do not want to move forward with that first infrastructure bill until they also move forward with the second infrastructure bill. So that's causing some problems. But they're going to have to figure something out. There's going to have to be some type of verbal agreement that if we can get, we'll pass the first infrastructure bill and we will pass the second infrastructure bill. You have to trust us. There has to be something verbal, because at this point, I don't think Senator Manchin and I don't think Senator Sinema are going to even put out there exactly what they want. And I think the top line number is going to keep moving around, and they're just going to keep saying, if President Biden comes out and says, okay, what about 2.2 trillion? They're going to say, no, that's not good. And they're not even going to give what their top line number is. They're not even going to say exactly what they want in this second infrastructure bill, or what they want to take out of the second infrastructure bill, because we have a blueprint of what's in the second infrastructure bill. And so Senator Sinema and Senator Manchin, I don't even think they're going to get in there and say, yeah, you know what, you're going to take this out, you're going to take that out, and the top line number is going to be this amount. I don't even think they're going to go there. We've heard Senator Manchin say, well, 1.5 trillion sounds like a good number, but what's in it? What is in this second infrastructure bill? What is the substance of the second infrastructure bill? That's what we need to focus on, because that top line number, you can move that around, but we're looking at time frames. So we talked about the child tax credit earlier on in this video. We're looking at a time frame. Will it be to 2025, or will it be to 2023, or will it be just one more year, maybe 2022? So we need to know exactly where they are with the child tax credit, with the free community college, with some of the other programs that are in the second infrastructure bill. So we're going to have to stay tuned. We're going to have to watch this. We're looking at, they're talking about a deadline of the end of the month, October 31st. I don't think that's not even a reality at this point. I think we're looking at a situation where this is going to push into November. But that first infrastructure bill, the longer you wait on that first infrastructure bill, the more problems Democrats are going to have down the road, because they're holding this. They're holding these are jobs. These are good paying jobs that could be going out to the American people, and they're holding this. So they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to move forward with that first infrastructure bill very soon, sooner than later. So I want to know what you guys think about all this. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one.